Hey guys, welcome back. And today is kind of like a different video compared to what I'm used to. Well, I mean, I've done videos like this in the past, but it's been probably 4 years now, I guess. But I bought a couple of things here, and we're gonna go ahead and just unbox them, and then I'll explain to you what I'm gonna be doing here. So, this first box, I guess, is from the Ruck shop. So now you know what I'm working on. Now, this, hopefully everything is here. I got the lollipop. And in here is a rotor, brake line, the rear hub, banjo fittings, more fittings, and in here looks like this is the bracket, the mounting bracket for this guy. So I am doing a rear disc brake conversion on my green Honda Ruckus because I sold the orange one or red one last year. Yeah, last year I sold it, and to a guy up in Denver. His name, you can check him out on his channel. His name is the JDM Kid. And so yeah, I sold that to him, but I went ahead and purchased this. I've been wanting to buy this kit for a while now because the rear disc brake, or the rear drum brake on the Ruckus, when I upgraded to the 171cc, just doesn't cut it. It won't stop that bike fast enough, and it's kind of dangerous, especially if you're in a highway and you really stop really fast. So I bought this to do the upgrade, and I also bought these to go with them. New brake levers with the master cylinder on both ends, because the other one on the bike that it's currently on is just like the rear cable, and so I needed both levers with the master or the reservoir to hold the fluid. So I got two of these, and I got them in black because the majority of the stuff I have on the bike is either green or black. And right now I have green ones, so I decided to kind of just change it up. And these I got on eBay. I didn't spend too much on them. I think it was like 40 bucks shipped, so that was a pretty good deal. This other box was sent to me by a friend of mine, and she makes these by hand. Oh, she even sent me a little keychain. That's cool. But this is like a whip that goes on the brake lever, and so yeah, she makes these. They're pretty cool. I chose black and green to go with the color scheme on my Ruckus, and it has the what she calls the monkey fist, so you can whack somebody over the head if they're trying to do something. But yeah, this basically, these just go kind of hanging on the brake lever on the left or right side, wherever you want to mount it. But yeah, that's what I got. And there's one more thing I'm going to make while I'm at it, and I will go through that when I'm back at the shop. Alright, so I got everything pretty much taken apart here. It's pretty much straightforward if you've ever worked on your own ruckus before. It's basically just remove the clutch assembly and the belt and whatever the cover, whatever you got on there. Take off this plate right here with the gears. Of course, you got to drain all the fluid. Remove the brake shoes, as well as all the other components and the axle. So what I'll do is I'll post a link down on the Ruck Shop video that they made on installing this kit. They go into depth of how to actually install all this and what you need. There's a couple of things you got to do. You got to drill out this area right here to put a bolt in there to hold the bracket in place, and then you got to drill another bolt or a hole in the case right here to hold the bracket as well. And I believe you got to remove this guy, but and then seal it. So you're just basically going to need a few things like, of course, new gear oil, some RTV sealant, and some thread locker, blue or red, and all the other stuff is basically supplied. Oh, and brake fluid. I'm pretty sure that this one will reach. I haven't tried it out yet as far as the brake line goes, but I'm pretty sure it'll fit. If not, then I'll have to. I still want it because the one they sent was a silver one, and I kind of wanted it to be black to go with all the other stuff. But I'll just put this one on for now, and if I have to, I guess I could make another one or buy another one. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so let me tell you what I had to do this. I should have known right off the bat that it was not going to be a one-day operation. I started this yesterday evening, and right off the bat, these two bolts right here stripped out, as well as one on the inside of the cover. And this one down over here. Those all stripped. And those of you who might work on GY6 engines know that this material is a really porous cast aluminum, so it'll strip right away. All you gotta do is look at it funny and it'll strip, so basically what I had to do was this is one of the stripped bolts. I had to go to the hardware store, and of course they didn't have the same. I think this is like a 8mm head. They had 10mm heads with the M6 thread pitch. So I just basically I threaded this hole here goes all the way through, as well as this one. So I just threaded it all the way through, and then got a longer bolt, and then of course just rethreaded everything, put the new bolts in, and it tightened out really nice. That one on that side over there, though, I had to find one that was actually, I had to go to the hardware store, get one that was longer, and then rethread it to an M6, and then tap the hole, and then thread it or tighten it up, and that one worked. After I got all this on, got everything back together, and took about an hour just to bleed the system. I don't know if you've ever bled the calipers on the GY6 engines, or on the front or back. They take forever to bleed, and I even had a bleeder system here, and getting it up to the first area, or getting it all through here, was the hardest part. And then of course I had to, they have one bleeder screw. They have this one, and then they have a cap, screw that kind of caps it off right here. And originally this was down here. So I started bleeding it, pumped the brake or the lever, and then held it in place, and then held it in place with a zip tie. Came back, loosened the screw until all the air was coming out, and it still wasn't working. So I took out the bleeder screw that was down here, moved it to the top, kind of switched them, figuring that, you know, any air in the system would go up. And so that's what I did, and after a couple of more passes, it finally tightened up. So the rear disc is installed. Another thing I had forgot was I had swapped out these wheel studs for bigger ones, because I had originally wanted to use these 6-speed lug nuts with the sharp points, and at the time nobody had made the lug nuts with a small enough thread to use on these, so I had to drill the holes on the hub and rethread it and then put those in. So those are in now, and of course ran all the lines, tightened them up, ran them underneath and through the top. And I have to do one more thing. All of the tabs on the battery box are broken, so I got to figure out a way to you know, without having to buy a whole new front cover and repaint it and all that stuff. I got to figure out a way to do that, so it bolts up. But let me see what I can come up with.